23. This is not super crazy in terms of how many points, given how well both of these teams have been doing in terms of passing and everything like that. But I want to point out that Ben, against those blitzing Ravens defensive front, this is a problem for them because Ben's changed his style. He's a quick passer now. He's no slow passer anymore. He likes to get the ball out real quick. So that is one way that they're going to have an advantage because, again, you got to make sure that the Ravens with the blitz, you got to have a plan against them, and that's the plan.
Right. When you look at this game, I can't tell if the rain and the weather is going to help the Steelers or the Ravens, but I have the Steelers winning, and so I'm going to convince myself it's the Steelers. Have them winning by 2 points, and it's because Hawk and I both wanted to talk about Lamar and having to go deep down the field. Well, you're not going to be able to go deep down the field this week. So I think it comes down to the short passing, and it comes down to the running game. Neither of these teams, I think, are going to be able to run the ball that consistently because both defenses are so good at stopping the run. So we're seeing these bombs from Lamar. I don't know if they're going to, be on target with all these big-time wins. I got the Steelers winning. Let's go to the Raiders and the Browns. Great matchup here. The Browns... Oh, I forgot we have proper performances first. I always screw that up, Cynthia.
I love it. That's so funny. Ben Roethlisberger is going to throw for fewer than 245 passing yards. You named it. It's all about the weather. It's all about the situation. In this one, it's fewer than 245. The next one, Marquise Hollywood Brown. Marquise Hollywood Brown, less than 68 receiving yards. I kind of messed up the Roethlisberger number too. So, now we're 2 for 2. Hawk, you get a mess up too because it's more than 245 and it's less than 280. Perfect. So that's the number that we got. So Hawk, you get one in the hopper for the rest of us. And Marquise Brown, though, he's going to have fewer than 68 receiving yards in this matchup. Greg, now, which game are we on to?
Finally. Raiders-Browns, great game. Browns favored by 1. I have the Raiders winning on the road. Part of the reason here, and the score feels a little high right now because of the weather. I have them winning 33-30. But part of the reason is the Browns defense just isn't getting enough production out of players not named Myles Garrett. And I think the Raiders getting a little bit healthier. They should have Trent Brown back on their offensive line, can open up time for Derek Carr. And I think I trust this Raiders team just a little bit more. I think they got something special. This is a fun game. Winner might be my favorite to get one of those wild cards in the AFC. What do you think, Cynthia?
I think this might be our sombrero game. What do you think? I actually have the Browns winning this one by 2. Why? Because this offense with Kareem Hunt and their reliable run game on first and second down, ain't nobody getting more for yards and new first downs on early downs than the Browns this season. That's a huge deal. So that, to me, makes them have the advantage against the Raiders, whose defense we've seen have lots of pockets of vulnerability. That's a nice word, I think, for that, right? So this could be our sombrero game. I have the Browns winning by 2.
I'm not buying it. I'm not jumping in on this with the sombrero. I'm not feeling the Raiders that much.
You're not feeling that good about it. Well, I'm going with the Browns, man. I mean, I think Cynthia hit it on the head, and I feel good anytime I agree with Cynthia. I mean, Greg, you said they don't have the defenders on the backside, on the defensive side of the ball, and you're right. But Denzel Ward has been playing really well on and off, and I think he's a really good player, and I think he helps on that back end. I think I'm going to give the edge to the Browns. Baker had a great game last week after OBJ went down because I think, honestly, he's starting to see the field better and starting to say, okay, I don't have to have as much pressure throwing to specific guys. Now I can just find the open guy. And he went 25 straight completions. I expect that to continue this week against the Raiders. All right, next up, we have the Patriots at the Bills. The Bills are favored by 4.5 points, and I'm going with the Bills. For the Patriots, the problem with me is they have a great run game, but they have no ability to throw it down the field. Cam's arm has not looked great. He's not making great decisions. And even when they were at full strength at wide receiver, which they are far from that now, the receivers weren't really getting open down the field. And it's going to be hard to keep a defense like the Bills honest if you don't have that ability. Cynthia, what do you got for me?
I got 25-19 Bills win. I agree with you. I was looking for a bright spot. Stephon Diggs is going to be a bright spot for the Bills, but Stephon Gilmore, he's not going to be playing. Then we got a lot of receivers out for the Pats. So I'm looking for something good to say about the Patriots, and it's a ray of sunshine in Cam Newton's legs. That's really all we're going to be seeing in this one from the standpoint of something reliable that we know we can count on. You can run on the Bills. That's how they were targeted. I mean, we even saw the Jets run on the Bills last game, especially early in the game. So in this one, I think Cam's legs are going to be the bright spot. when you move away from bad weather, you always have to bring out the sunshine back to, the people who have the
There
cold
you
weather.
go.
So that's what we're doing there. Greg, are we
Making me feel a
meme-worthy?
little bit better, Cynthia, as a Patriots fan. I still have the Bills winning by 6, but I do think the weather should help the Patriots. I mean, they are a running team, and they are without Stephon Gilmore. That is a huge factor in this game. But suddenly, it might not be as easy. Josh Allen, not that accurate down the field. Stephon Diggs and John Brown, to me, are the best part of that offense, and maybe the weather neutralizes it. A close to the vest type of game, I think that favors the Patriots and at least gives them a chance to win this game. Cynthia, you got some more proper performances, don't you?
I do. Damian Harris, and exactly with what you were saying, he's going to have more than 45 rushing yards. Why? Because just like you said, the weather does favor the Patriots in this standpoint. And then when you look to see who they've been starting to target, do you ever feel confident picking running backs from the Patriots backfield? No, but 45 yards seems like a very achievable task. Now, moving to the other side of the ball, what will Josh Allen do? Well, when I look to see Josh Allen and his passing ability, it's a good ability, but the weather will impact this as well. I have 222 passing yards forecasted for him, which is a lot less than 256. So some people get mad at my grammar. Fewer than, less than, whatever the right one is. I do math, not grammar. It is lower than 256. 256 lower.
Love that one. The Patriots have been Josh Allen's kryptonite. We move to the Rams and the Dolphins. The Rams are favored by 3.5 on the road. Of course, this is Tua Tagovailoa's first start, but I want to talk about the Rams offense against this Dolphins defense. Darrell Henderson and the Rams rushing attack, I think, prevents the Dolphins from doing what they do well on defense. They are a great team in 3rd and long, cooking up those blitzes. But when you have Jared Goff getting it done in terms of the play action passing game, you have Darrell Henderson on early downs. I don't think that lets the Dolphins do what they want to do. They don't have a lot of great individual pass rushers, so I think they can really possess the ball quite a bit today and make it very hard on Tua in his first start. What do you think, Cynthia?
Well, one of the things that I'm looking at in this one is the O-line for the Dolphins. What's the line? It's like, the devil you know, the devil you don't know. I don't exactly remember what that line is. I also don't do like fun things like that with words. But I do think that they already know their O-line is something that is not good. They already know that Aaron Donald is something that is like ridiculously out of this world good. So when you look to see how they're game planning for Tua and those 2 weeks to do it, this is where I think they have an edge. I think that gives them makes a big difference in this one. Where do you fall, Hawk?
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually on the other side of it. I like the Rams because I have trouble going with a rookie QB in his first start, no matter how good he is. Although his pregame fit does make me question myself because that made it look. I felt like he was ready walking in with that garb on. But I'm going with the Rams. I like what Greg's point was about the offense. I also like that. I just feel good about teams whose receiving weapons are kind of equal, right? Like, no one's really that much better than the rest of them because it means they have a well-balanced attacked offense, especially when they're playing well. So I like that about the Rams offense. And, again, I have trouble going with a rookie quarterback. So I'm sticking with that. All right, next up, we have the Vikings at Packers. Packers are favored in this one by 6.5. Going with the Packers. I think they really got back on the wagon a week ago, and I think this offense is going to have a full season of just gelling. Aaron Rodgers is really letting it come to him. He's getting the ball out of his hands quickly. He's making the right decision. And obviously, on the outside, they have one of the best playmakers in the National Football League. Cynthia, what do you got for me on this one?
31-23, Packers take this one. Remember, there's no Aaron Jones in this matchup, so Jamal Williams is going to want to be the one who you slide in there for your fantasy purposes. I think the interesting part about really when you look to see this game is, can we maybe see Justin Jefferson have a nice game on the other side? He's been a real big bright spot for the Minnesota Vikings, this rookie. So I think this is one where if you have fantasy kind of questions, Justin Jefferson, just come on, put him right on in there. He's going to have a good game.
Yeah, can't argue with that. I have the Packers winning by 2 touchdowns. The weather's a bit of a concern, but one thing I love about the Packers this year, they've shown that they can put up huge points, usually against bad defenses, without some of their best players. So you have Jamal Williams in there again. They will be fine at running back. They actually get David Bakhtiari, their great left tackle, back in the mix today. They put up a lot of points even without him last week. This is my favorite pick of the day. Feel very confident at 34-20. You got some proper performances for us? What's up, Cynthia?
Showed The first one's going to back the pack, and it's going to be Aaron Rodgers, and he's going to have more than 284 passing yards, and that's going to be something that's going to happen, and it's going to go to Devontae Adams. All right, enough with the A's. But I like this one even in the weather, because Aaron Rodgers has shown he can do it in the cold. I'm not worried about him with any of that, and I think the Devontae Adams factor is high in this one. And then I told you before I liked Justin Jefferson. Now I'm going to tell you just exactly how much I like Justin Jefferson. In fact, I think that he's going to have more than 66 receiving yards. He's on track for just a ridiculous season, a ridiculous rookie year, and they're going to need it. Game scripts here in this one means Kirk Cousins is likely throwing late in the game, just like we saw in their week 1 matchup. So for me, in this matchup, Justin Jefferson and where he lines up in that slot, it is all about those receiving yards. So more than 66.
Ooh.
You like it?
Awesome.
What are we at,
Rookie
Greg?
of the year. I like it. We got the Colts. We got your Lions next. The Colts are favored by 3 points in this game. I'm not really into making the sombrero thing a weekly event that someone has to wear it. But if we're going to do it this week, I'm going with the Colts 26-20. If you're willing to take the Lions, Cynthia, in this one, the Colts get Darius Leonard back. They might have Michael Pittman back. And you know what? They're not the Lions. So I'm feeling good about it. Come on.
Listen.
How much do you believe in your team?
I don't believe in them, but I'm going to take it because I believe in fun. And because I believe in fun, I will wear that stupid sombrero because I don't like this pick, but I have the Lions winning by 24-23, meaning the margin in this one is one of my finest, which this is like the trifecta of things I hate. Finest, the little gold thing makes me happy. Why does it have to be the Lions? 2, Lions winning, woof. 3, okay, sombrero, whatever. It's fine. I'm in. I'm fun. I'm a proponent of fun. What about you, Hawk?
I mean, you hate to love your team more than anybody I know in football. I mean, it's like you are the biggest Lions fan, and you can tell your heart has been ripped out so many times by them. But feel good about it, Cynthia, because they're not your Lions this week. They're our Lions.
Oh.
I'm picking the Lions, too. It's not so much about what the Lions have done or what they bring to the table. I have a lot of questions about the Colts. We've seen Phillip Rivers play up and down, to say the least, and that defense has played well. But if you look at the Colts' schedule, they really haven't played anybody. And I think the Lions have a big opportunity here to get the best of them, even with, like we talked about before, the questions surrounding that organization and their coaching staff. All right, next up, we have the Titans at the Bengals. The Titans are favored by 7 in this one. I'm picking the Titans. I think that defense is going to be too much for the Bengals to handle. And the Bengals have had so much trouble protecting their quarterback. I mean, we've talked a bunch about how great Justin Herbert has been, and he has been lights out. But Burrow has been up there too, man. And honestly, he's doing a whole lot with a whole lot less than Justin Herbert. But I just don't think they have enough to protect him and give him a chance to win this football game. So for that reason, going with the Titans here. Cynthia, what do you got for me?
I like all of your Cincinnati notes. I still have the Titans. Earlier in this week, I had 30-23, which is 7. Which means, we're on kind of the same level, me and whoever those magical people are. But now I think it's going to be a little bit wider margin because there's no Joe Mixon. So I'm going to go with 30-22, just ad hoc on the fly. Sorry, graphics people, I apologize. But it's going to be a little bit more because that no Joe Mixon factor is a huge deal. Yes, the Titans, you can totally target Joe Burrow, take him. T. Higgins, take him. Absolutely. Tons of good options. But I will say, on the other side, that Derrick Henry guy, he just provides too much stability alongside with A.J. Brown, alongside with Ryan Tannehill's ability to throw the ball. There's a lot of good things there. So I would say a nice 8-point win. What do you have, Greg?
I got the Titans by 3 points. I don't feel quite as good about it as I did because the Titans feel like the team that are weatherproof, just like a bunch of huge men coming off the bus. I mean, it sounds strange, but like Jonnu Smith, they're massive. I'm making Cynthia laugh. I mean, they're just like Jonnu Smith, Derrick Henry, A.J. Brown. They're like the biggest team I've ever seen, and that scares me in a weather game. Let's go to our last one. It's the Chiefs, the Jets. No one's excited about this except for Chiefs fantasy owners. Chiefs are favored by 19.5. And I do think this is a game where Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, all the guys that haven't been lighting it up in terms of fantasy, this is the week they put a 50 burger on them. I don't even care about the weather. They're going to win this game by 25.
I have 35-15, and now I'm just going to think about average weights of teams in weather. I just think it's so funny, big fat men in the snow or in the cold. I don't know. I can't get that image out of my head now. So this is all your fault. Lev Bell's going to have a touchdown. What do you have, Hawk?
Yeah, I don't have anything for this one. The Chiefs are going to win, obviously. I don't know what else you want me to say. A 19.5 favor? Are you serious? Is this not the
Yeah.
National Football League? Who are they playing? Kansas State? All right, we'll go with the Chiefs here. Time for a break. We'll be back in a moment to talk more Sunday games. Patrick Mahomes, look at him. He's ready. He's not even got his good suit on. He's like, this is a walk in the park. The Jets, are you serious?
Back on Game Day View, it's time for Drive to Excellence, presented by Mercedes-Benz. A 10-4 week kept Cynthia in the top spot, followed by Hawk and Greg. Fun fact, Cynthia is a Lions fan, and her favorite player on the 2020 team? Todd Gurley. That was Drive to Excellence, presented by Mercedes-Benz.
49ers at Seahawks. Seahawks favored in this one by 3. Getting right in the picks here. I'm going with the Seahawks. I think this is going to be a really, really good matchup. The 49ers, they've had an up and down year. I think they're getting settled back in with Jimmy G back at the helm. I just think they're going to run out of time. I love the 49ers run game, but I just think they're going to eat a lot of time off the clock, and it's going to come down to one possession in which Seattle's going to have it last, and Russ is going to do what Russ does. Last week was an anomaly. I'm throwing it away. What do you got for me, Cynthia?
Is Russ going to cook? Is that what you were implying, what he does? 28
Oh,
to 20.
he's definitely cooking it.
28 to
It's
24.
Sunday meal day.
20, I have 28 to 24 this one. I have the Seahawks winning this game. I think it's going to be interesting to see what their defensive front looks like now with some additions. I'm really curious to see if they can improve their ability to rush the passer. That is a really big deal. So in this matchup, it is really the fact that I don't trust Jimmy Garoppolo and his short average depth of target. It's going to be a good George Kittle game, but I'm afraid of some of the other things in this one for the Niners. What do you have, Greg?
I do have the 49ers winning this game. I think if you squint hard, you can see Jimmy G playing a little bit better each and every week, them protecting him well. And the matchup is right. We're looking at Kyler because he's just one of the many quarterbacks who have lit up this Seahawks defense. We're not sure if Jamal Adams is going to play in this game yet, but I still don't think their pass rush is going to be any better. So this is one game I'm going to try to catch up with you on, Cynthia. I saw you win a couple games very late, last week. It was like that Giants-Eagles game, Lions. This is the week I catch up. Another game we're watching, Saints and the Bears. Another weather game. The Saints are favored by 4 in this game. Some big-time injury updates since we last had a show. Michael Thomas definitely out. Marquez Callaway definitely out. And Allen Robinson definitely in for the Bears. I still have the Saints winning. I don't care about all that because the mismatch that I'm looking at is the Saints defensive line against this Bears offensive line. And you remember it from Thursday's show, Cynthia. This offensive line, they're slump busters. When you're in a slump, head to Chicago, and everything's going to be just fine afterwards. You're next.
20. I have almost the same score. 26. Woo! Goodness gracious. You and that slump buster make me laugh all the time. 26-21 is what I have in this one. It's going to be a big run game. Those gusty winds, especially in Chicago, in Soldier Field. Be careful with any kicker in this one. Just stay away. Just say, okay, Alvin Kamara, welcome to my team. You're running back number 1 by such a wide margin this week because of the weather, because of uncertainty elsewhere. So this to me is just play the hits, right? Play the hits and then go get your slump buster out in Chicago and, we'll see what happens. But I would be careful with Allen Robinson because he was still in the concussion protocol very late. So I don't know, if things start getting away from them, I don't know if they're going to be, wanting to play him more and maybe wanting to play him less. So just be careful with fantasy in that one. What do you have, Hawk?
Matt Nagy 5-0 in short weeks. That doesn't make either of you nervous?
No. Seems random.
No. Okay, just making sure I'm good. So yeah, I'm going with the Saints as well because it doesn't make me nervous either. I mean, we seen last week Foles talk about, that was such a weird moment, even in the broadcast of oh yeah, I've been trying to tell him to hurry up and give me the play calls, right? And it's almost like Foles is being it's not all my fault. I want you guys to know that even though I'm not playing well, this guy deserves some blame too. So I don't think that bodes well going into this week for the Saints, even though they're faced with a bunch of injury issues and a lot of people out of the lineup. I still like the Saints to get the W. All right, next up, we have the Chargers at the Broncos. The Chargers are favored by 3.5. Going into picks, I'm going with the Chargers. Herbert has been playing lights out. I mean, Greg, you said it last Thursday, and I think you were so right. This guy has Patrick Mahomes level talent to start his career, and it's everybody is waiting for the glass slipper to fall off, and it just hasn't yet. The dude has looked lights out. He has looked like a seasoned vet. He has looked more talented than any quarterback we've seen in a long time, and I think this week is going to be no different, even though he's facing a pretty good Broncos defense. Cynthia, what do you got?
I got 25-20 Chargers in this one. Part of the reason why is because the Broncos defense last week did show that they could hold Patrick Mahomes to a 0% third down conversion rate. That is 0. It didn't happen once even. The problem is they allowed him to convert on first and second down. So they weren't really getting to some third downs. They were really kind of moving the chains before. And plus, if you look at that game script, they were up big time, some special teams, some defensive situations that really helped them out. So in this one, I think they have a nice, strong Chargers win. And Keenan Allen, go buy all the shares of him for fantasy.
Ooh, like that one. I like the Broncos in this game, not by much, by 1 point. I'm fascinated. I think the winner of this game is a really intriguing team in the AFC. I haven't given up on the Broncos, clearly. I love Herbert so much. That this is the game I want to watch in the late window. I know it's 49ers, Seahawks. You got Bears, Saints. I don't care. I just want to watch Herbert every week. He is prime time, box office football, and this should be a fun one. Let's move to one that's not fun. I would put Chargers Broncos in prime time and get Ben DiNucci out of there because the Eagles are favored by 11.5 points in this game. That's how little faith everyone has in the Cowboys, and I don't blame them. I have the Eagles winning by 13 points. They are getting so much healthier. Dallas Goedert's going to be back in this game. Their tackles, their offensive line, Malik Jackson, all healthier, like the Eagles to win.
Okay, this is one of my finest, and not because I think it's going to be the most fun to watch. I'm totally with you. This one is not one of my finest. Let's go 28-15, same type of margin, same type of situation in this one. It's not necessarily even Ben DiNucci, it's the O-line, and that defensive front for the Eagles is nasty. So let's be honest. Let's see what DiNucci has. Maybe we can be positive. We're still going to watch the game, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we're definitely going to watch the game, even if it is getting our teeth pulled. I'm going with the Eagles as well. I think Carson Wentz showed a lot of progress in last game, late and, kind of reviving what people feel about Carson. It's still a long road back to, where he once was, but I think he's playing better. And on the other side of the ball, the Cowboys, I've seen nothing but the complete opposite. So for that reason, definitely sticking with the Eagles. All right, next up we got Bucks at the Giants. The Bucks are favored by 12.5 points. Going with the Bucks, I think they are one of the most talented, if not the most talented football team in the National Football League. And they've only gotten better from week 1 to where they are now. The defense, the offense, obviously they have the addition of AB. We will eventually see how that gels. But, yeah, I think this is a shoo-in when it comes from Old Hawk. What do you got for me, Cynthia?
29-18 in this one. I'm trying to think what would be more surprising, if the Cowboys pulled off the upset or if the Giants didn't. It's definitely the Giants, even though I have a closer margin in that one. Interesting note, just something that I was thinking about as we were going on there. I actually think in this game that if you were going to look for some kind of fantasy situation, Scotty Miller, that's a great wide receiver replacement if you have either some of these guys in weather games or maybe if you're missing Odell Beckham Jr. and somebody got to the waiver wire before you, that's a good one to look at. Greg, what do you have?
I have the Bucks winning by a huge margin. And I'm just going to pick the Bucks to win a blowout each week, unless they're playing like one of the best teams in the league. That's how good I think the Bucks are. This is why you should trust the model, because this is very emotional. I just think they're going to kill everyone moving forward, and the Giants are not really going to put up much of a fight. I think it'll be a better fight in Buffalo today. Let's go to break. Well, let's look at those quarterbacks there. Oh, little Josh Allen love.
That looks like Buffalo.
Is that him under there?
Did you see their incredibly petty billboard?
Cam.
Did you see their petty billboard? It was like in the Cam Newton font, and they're like Tom Brady can't save you, and the Cam Newton font, when he uses that weird stuff. I'm like, wow, you got some petty there.
Oh wow.
Good petty. Strong.
That is
Last election, millions of voters were unable to cast their ballots. Why? No game plan. What's yours?
November 3rd, direct route, straight to the polls.
If you're there before the polls close, they have to let you vote. Gurley, Russ, let's go.
I used my mail-in ballot and checked online to make sure it was counted.
I registered early, and I got it done. I am a voter.
The NFL encourages the civic engagement of our fans, players, and NFL legends. Make your game plan at nfl.com/votes.
Oh, it's foam finger time. First of all, more or less than 100 political ads today while watching football. Oh, okay.
More.
Okay.
Over.
Saints and Bears, more or less than 42 total points. Remember, gusty winds, scariness, more or less.
I thought this was going to be a low-scoring game even without the weather. Running games, short passing, good decent defenses. I like less.
I'm going with more in this one because sometimes when you can't kick field goals, you have to try for touchdowns, which are worth more points. Okay, next up, 49ers and Seahawks, more or less than 53 total points. More or less than 53 total points. Ooh,
More.
is this
I'm
a
going
Hawk
more.
child? Is this a Baby Hawk special?
All my more or lesses are brought to you by Baby Hawk. He says that the Seahawks defense can't stop anybody. It's going to be a high-scoring game.
Well, I mean, then I probably need to switch it because we love Baby Hawk. Okay, Chargers and Broncos, more or less than 44 total points. More or less than 44 total points. We agree?
Hashtag team more. Ooh, we're on the same page here. I like it.
I mean, Herbert is like one of my very favorite fantasy picks for the week. So both sides here. I'm just worried. I'm a little worried that the Broncos aren't going to keep up their end of the bargain, but I think 44 is very achievable, especially with Justin Herbert. Okay, next up, Colts and Lions, more or less than 50 total points. This one's really strong for me.
Ooh, we're all in agreement.
Uh-oh, that means we're all going to get busted. What does Baby Hawk have to say about this one?
Baby Hawk says that the Colts and the Lions are not for real. He says it's not going to be a big game. They're going to kind of neutralize each other and less points than 50.
How about more or less, one half sombrero on Cynthia next week? I'm going more than that.
I'm going more on that one too. Okay. Last but not least, we've got the Rams and Dolphins, more or less than 46. That's 46 points. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what? We all agree again?
Every once in a while, just look at Cynthia and cheat. But there's no weather situation there. Everyone's healthy. It makes sense.
What I'm realizing is my son is a lot better at these than I am, so that
always
means a lot
listen
of
to
things.
Baby
That does
Hawk.
it for us here today on Game Debut. We will see you back here on Friday, same time, same place as always. Miles Garrett, scary human being. He'll be here as well.
Big man getting off the bus.
Enjoy your
He's
game.
off the bus.
Big man getting off the bus.